Hi everyone. I hope you're having a good day. I'm having a pretty good day. It's been gloomy, but it's been a good day in my little corner of the world. It's it seems like the weather has changed drastically because these last couple of days we've had sunny, clear skies and very warm weather, and now we have chillier temperatures, which it's interesting to see the change in time and weather. But anyway, I had a lot of things to do this morning, a lot of things for work, and this late afternoon, I had an appointment with the doctor. I went to the doctor's office, the dreaded doctor's office. But no, I went to the ENT, and because I need to get my ears cleaned every so often because my ears produce a lot of wax, and so I have to get them cleaned every 6 months or so because they get so clogged to the point where I can't hear and all my hearing is muffled. So yeah, I went to the ENT for that. Sorry, it was TMI, I know. But anyway, the point of the story is there was a painting in the doctor's waiting room. And it was an interesting abstract painting, like, one of those contemporary paintings. And one of the patients that was also waiting for the doctor was taking pictures of all the paintings around the office, because the doctor had decorated his office very nicely, and he had some very unique selections for the paintings that he was displaying around his office. And it seemed to me that the guy was an artist because he was just so intrigued by all the paintings that he was looking at and taking pictures at. And he told the lady at the reception that he's a painter and that he's fascinated by the paintings. And I guess he pulled out his phone and he showed her all of the pictures of his paintings. And anyway, while I was observing him and I was observing how he was looking at all of the paintings, I saw how much appreciation he had for all of the different artists that had created this art, and how he had a keen sensitivity to creation. I don't know how to explain it. And the guy looked like an artist. Um, he just dressed like one. And I was just thinking about, as he was looking at one of the paintings, it was an abstract painting, and most people, when they see a bunch of brush strokes, all over the place, kind of like Jackson Pollock type art, but not really. It was more of the contemporary, just brush strokes here and there, and there's no defined pattern. But when I saw him observe the painting, he was doing this kind of movement with his hands, emulating the brush strokes and how the artist must have painted this brush stroke and things like that. And he was saying under his breath, "Oh, this is amazing! This is amazing." He was saying it loud enough for the people in the waiting room to hear it, because the waiting rooms are usually very quiet and everybody's on their phone or reading a magazine or something, and so you can hear pretty much the faintest sounds. But anyway, and my ears were clogged, so anyway, I went to the doctor and I had my ears cleaned and everything, and as I was driving back home, I was thinking about how artists have this sensitivity to movement, especially abstract painters, because They're not following a pattern. They're not following some kind of method to create. They're just creating from within. And as the man, the artist back at the waiting room, as he was doing this, I thought about how I mean, I guess I have to say that I appreciated the painting more, because even though the painting might not mean anything, it's someone's creation. It's someone's work of art. And someone created something that hadn't existed before, and it doesn't matter if when you paint something like a replica of another painting that you saw. The fact is that your version of that painting hadn't existed before. And I paint myself. I love to paint. I'm into pottery. And so pottery has taught me, and I like wood burning as well, but wood burning, you have to be more precise and careful. But with pottery, especially pottery, there's the Japanese have a lot of philosophy around pottery. And pottery is all about movement, concentration, surrender, and patience. It's not easy to make a mug. Anybody that has attempted to make anything on the wheel can say that their first time is just so hard. It's so hard to make a mug or make a bowl or make any kind of figure that seems easy to make. But what pottery taught me throughout the years, or has taught me, and I don't do it anymore, I haven't done it in like 6 months. Yeah, in like 6 months, because I got really busy with my life and I just didn't have time to go to the studio. But anyway, what pottery taught me was to surrender and to embrace imperfections, embrace movement instead of rigidity. Anyone who has done pottery knows that anything can go wrong at any stage of the creation of a bowl or a mug or a vase or whatever it is that you want to create. At any stage, something, the glazing, right? Something can go wrong, because in pottery, you can't make a mug in one day. You can make the form of a mug with the clay, and then you have to let it dry for a couple of days until the figure, until the what will become a mug goes leather hard. And once it's leather hard, you put it in the kiln for firing, and then you have to let the mug or whatever you made cool for a day or for a couple of hours. And then you have to, once it's leather hard, you have to, or I mean, once it's, what's that stage called? Oh man, it just slipped my mind. I haven't been in 6 months, and it's really, geez, it's at the tip of my tongue. Anyway, okay, so once after the first firing, it comes out, and I can't believe I can't remember the second stage. But anyway, it comes out, and then you have to glaze it. And in the glazing, something can go wrong, because sometimes you can overglaze it and your mug doesn't absorb the clay, or sometimes you put on the glaze wrong. And then after you've glazed your bowl or your mug or whatever it is that you made, you have to put it in the kiln for a second firing. And in the second firing, something can go wrong because somebody else's pot or mug or whatever it is that they made, sometimes if they were careless about a step, then the glaze can run over and it can run into your own mug, or your glaze runs and it sticks to the cookie that you have to put your mug in, or it sticks to the kiln if you didn't put a cookie, but you have to. Cookies are, they're not actual edible cookies, of course, but they are basically round pieces of clay that have been fired twice. And so you put that to protect it. So if the glaze runs, it doesn't run on the kiln, it's going to run in the cookie. But anyway, sometimes your clay runs, or somebody's piece, like if they made a mug, sometimes the handle will fall off and it falls onto your bowl or to your mug. That's happened to me. And so there are so many stages that you can't control in the pottery process, and you just have to embrace imperfection, and you have to surrender and hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And I've seen a lot of people in the studio in pottery that take it so seriously. They're just so serious about the whole process, and they want everything perfect. And one of my teachers, I also call him a teacher of life, because he taught me not just about pottery, but about life in general, and certain metaphors that you can carry over to your own life, certain metaphors in pottery that you can carry and apply to your own life, is what I was trying to say. My phone got a notification and I got distracted. Anyway, he taught me he was a very, what I would like, eccentric, artistic man, and he was focused on movement. He was focused on, instead of realism or perfection, he was focused on how the movement of the mug, or the movement of whatever figure he was making. And I admired him because he had completely detached from this idea of wanting the picture perfect mug, or wanting to make the picture perfect bowl or whatever, and with the exact amount of glaze, and the glaze has to look like this and this and this. He was just loose and artistic and eccentric, and I loved that, and I learned so much from that. And what I'm trying to say is that artists, in my opinion, have this freedom to create. And of course, there are the artists that become very rigid and they have to follow a certain method. And that's how they find liberation. But in my own art, how I experience this liberation, this freedom, is by surrendering to whatever it is I'm going to make, whether it is a painting or a bowl, or if I'm going to wood burn. That's a little different because you really do have to be precise, but I want to learn how to make abstract wood burning pieces of art too. But abstract art gets a lot of flack because it doesn't follow a pattern, it doesn't follow a method, it doesn't follow rules, it just is. And usually we're always seeking, when we're looking at art especially, we're always seeking some kind of meaning, even if it's a painting of someone, like, a Victorian painting of someone that lived in the 1800s or whatever, even if it's a painting of someone or a landscape painting, we know what it is. There is this, oh, it's a person, or oh, it's a landscape, or oh, it's a waterfall, oh, it's a mountain. But when it's in abstract art, when it's just brush strokes on the canvas, we don't know what to make of it because it's just, loose. And it seems like if we don't know what to make of something, we usually relegate it to, oh, that's trash, but it really shouldn't be that way, because the abstract painter has freed themselves from the shackles of rigidity, of rules, of following a certain method, and they're just being free. And I'm not saying that abstract art is better than other kinds of art, right? But it's kind of like when you're a child and you get crayons and you start drawing on your piece of paper and you don't know what it is, but you're drawing, right? And it's like you're going back to that freedom, to when you were a child. And that freedom that you experienced of just being able to create without judgment. If you showed your picture to, like the picture that you drew when you were a little kid with crayons, if you showed that picture to your parents or to teachers, they would be like, oh, that's amazing. And you would receive that feedback, that hopefully positive feedback. Not everybody does. But you just feel this freedom to create. And that's what I'm trying to say in this video. Having the freedom to create without feeling any kind of judgment is the best feeling, because we don't feel the need to impress other people. We don't feel the need to have some kind of recognition or accolades for anything. It's just, we're creating just to create. And when we create from the heart, I truly believe that others will appreciate it. Others that really understand, like that man in the waiting room, will appreciate it, because they know that creating takes courage, right? Somebody else might see that abstract painting and be like, oh my God, I could do that. Well, yes, you could do that, but will you? Will you actually do that? This person that made this painting was courageous enough to create and sell their art. You aren't. Because a lot of people have that mindset. And so have the courage to create, and don't be afraid of what it's going to look like. Just know that this is a unique creation that you made. This art, whatever it is, that if it's a painting, a drawing, pottery, it's something that you made that never existed before you. Yes, maybe other paintings that are similar or other mugs have been made, but not by you. You made that mug. You painted that painting. You drew that picture, right? So don't be afraid to create. Be free. Feel that freedom. And if you experience freedom in following certain rules, like you like to follow, you're into realism, or I'm completely blanking on my art terms right now. Whoa, I'm really blanking on all the art, the different kinds of art that exist, but maybe I'm just tired. But anyway, just feel free to create, and feel free if realism makes you happy, then pursue that. But find something that makes you free. I guess what I'm trying to say, allows you, find a medium that will give you that sense of freedom. And you'll find that when you stop pursuing the accolades and you create from an authentic place, others who really understand will appreciate your work. It's kind of like a flower. A flower isn't asking birds or hummingbirds to come pollinate it. It just is. It just opens and blooms, and it releases, it exudes this fragrance. And that's what attracts the bees and the hummingbirds and all the other pollinators. You know, that the flower is just being, it's just this embracing, it's just embracing what it was meant to be. And what I'm trying to say is, embrace what you were meant to be, and the right people will appreciate that. So I hope you're having a good day, and I'm sorry for the ramble, if I rambled a bit and went off track, but I've had a lot of thoughts in my mind lately. So anyway, I hope you're having a good day. I wish you all the best. Peace and love. Bye.